Yeah, welcome to the Horror Hangout, a podcast where two bearded film fans watch the 50 best horror movies ever, and then we talk about them. My name is Luke Condor with Kate, and I'm joined by my regular co-host, Mr.
Ben Errington.
And we have today, so we pulled together our witchy resources. We whispered to the devil himself and summoned the Horror Hangout Facebook group regular, Johan. How's it going, Johan? You alright?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. I didn't get the devil whispers, but I did get a nice little text message, so I think that was alright.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I meant. Yeah. So you're like you're an expert of the next film we're going to be talking about. You could say you're a rec-spert, which is something I just made up earlier. And yeah, so the last time we talked about was Poltergeist. It was very good, and today we're talking about Wreck, which is a very scary film. So yeah, how are you guys doing? How are you doing, Johan? You've listened to the show. You've been a contributor in many ways.
Yeah. I've in terms of the show, I'm loving the show. So that's why I wanted to, when I said, can I get involved in this somehow, I said, can it be this episode? Because I really, really like this song. So I will put that in. So, yeah, I'm glad I'm on it. So I've got far more energy for this bleeding hot weather. So, yeah. And also, I kind of just, one of the things as well, I like about this podcast is just you guys just bantering on for about an hour, just about the same movie, and I kind of do that on a regular basis. So I thought I would just throw my my few cents in there as well. So
yeah. Do you feel like when you listen to the podcast, do you feel like I wish I could talk back to them? Do you know what I mean? Like there's
sometimes,
more...
yeah, and sometimes I feel like I'm shouting at the screen and wanting to correct you because there are moments where you either say names wrongly, get the year wrong or something, and you're like, no, it's wrong. That's not what it is.
So... we definitely do that on a regular basis. When I listen back, there are moments when I think we've got that terribly wrong, but we can't even bother to go and correct ourselves, which is fine, No. We got someone like you, Johan, who can come and correct us. Yeah. We need you.
I don't want to get paralysed by perfection. I don't want to get facts right.
Who cares what year it was? Who cares what year it was in, man? Was it 1982? Was it 1981?
It came out. That's all that matters,
man.
Yeah.
I think the one is funnier as well because what's interesting about this one being particularly a Spanish movie is when you try and pronounce foreign names,
I didn't think
and you're
that.
terrible at pronouncing foreign names.
Yeah.
Oh, that's me. Number one at terrible pronouncing foreign names over here. Just names in general, really. Yeah. Not even just foreign names. British names as well.
He keeps calling me Lukey.
Okay, Lukey! Have you ever seen the name Siobhan written down?
Yeah.
My God.
Sugarhan. It looks like a Lovecraftian beast.
Siobhan.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So we're at number 34 on the list, and it's Wreck. It's very recent. It's very much on Ben's cliff. It's so far the other side.
The cliff is a construct you've created in your mind, Luke. Don't embrace it.
Okay, I won't. But it's very recent, is what I'm saying. I think it might be the most recent of the lists, maybe.
Really?
No, I think on the list we've also got It Follows, which is
very recent,
incredibly recent.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one's late 2000s. So
late
that's pretty.
Is it like 2009?
Yeah, 2007 is. I just had to correct the facts there.
Johan's just been corrected on the year.
This is how it starts.
This is how it starts. I'm going to remember that. That's number one. I'm going to write that down.
Yeah.
Number one, Johan.
I shouldn't have said this. Okay, go on.
Okay.
3 strikes.
Ben, do you want to tell us a bit about what it's about?
Okay. I'll tell you a bit what it was about. I'm going to try and pronounce some names. Strap yourselves in. Okay, Wreck is a 2007 Spanish zombie horror film co-written and directed by Jaume Balagueró and Paco Plaza. The film was shot in Barcelona, Spain, and the title is an abbreviation of the word record as it appears on a video camera. With this, are we calling it Wreck or REC? Because I've always called it Wreck.
I've always called it Wreck.
I've always called it Wreck.
Okay, wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay, the plot is basically a television reporter and cameraman follows emergency workers into a dark apartment building, and they are quickly locked inside with something terrifying.
Ooh. Sounds good. So this is what the Empire film people had to say about it. Found footage as the concept was already feeling tired and gimmicky by the late noughties. Then Rec came along and gave it a hell of a jolt. 2 documentary filmmakers find themselves on the night shift for the TV show While You're Sleeping, following a Barcelona fire brigade when they sleepily stumble on an old lady infected with a zombie virus. Like many before it, Rec's markdown budget and indie sensibility works entirely in its favour. A fresh take on an old template that feels intimate, visceral, and real. And one character observes, Q Ruckus. I don't know. Is that pronounced right?
Yeah, I think so. Kind of. I think it's around.
Cool. So Rotten Tomatoes gave it 9% fresh. That's pretty high. IMDb gave it the standard IMDb rating of 7.5. I've never.
That's true. Like all good movies is 7.5 upwards.
I don't think I think we've had 7.4 and 7. Between 7.4 and 7.6. I don't think we've ever had a film out of that range for some reason.
Ugh.
So weird.
That is strange.
So this is what the on the Horror Hangout Facebook group, Liam Banks said he loves this film so much, found footage done right, and the language barrier makes it all the more scary for him. Which I think so too. I often go abroad and get scared.
Oh, these damn foreigners and their mumbo jumbo.
It's not like, what are they saying about me? I don't know.
You instantly thinking people walk down the street, they're instantly talking about you.
Yeah.
But this is, I was going to say, actually, in terms of the language barrier is a bit different for me, because I'm coming from Gibraltar, so I understand Spanish.
Yeah.
And oddly enough, I find it scarier anyway, because it's in another language that I understand, and it's a different kind of way of approaching the scares, rather than like, it was, if this was, actually, that's the thing, is Rec was done eventually in English, it was remade into Quarantine.
Yeah.
You didn't remember that one?
Yeah.
And it didn't really work, so maybe it was just because it was Spanish, it just kind of added to it.
Yeah.
Did you see Quarantine?
No, I've only seen Rec 1. I've never felt the impetus to watch any of the remakes or any of the sequels. Maybe I should watch the sequels. I don't know. Has anyone seen them?
I've seen 2 and 3. I've not seen 4. Have you seen 4?
There is a 4. Yeah, no, I haven't seen 4, but all I heard is now it's on a boat. Basically, it's Rec on a boat.
It says Rec 4 Apocalypse. So I think anything that has like any sort of zombie film, like zombie apocalypse, like it always makes me think of Resident Evil. So I'm kind of worried it went a bit down that route.
I think so. Yeah, I think by the looks of it, because I liked the second one a lot, and the third one was weird because they tricked you in the third one because they tried to do the whole handheld thing for 15 minutes, and then they say we're gonna do this a third time round. And just does like a regular movie. So they kind of stopped it after 15 minutes, and it goes, oh, okay, regular. No, we're filming it like an actual movie. We can film this like an actual movie.
Yeah. Rec 2 was in the same building, wasn't it? It was pretty much like a direct follow-on immediately minutes after the first one ended.
Yeah. Was it good?
Yeah, it's good actually, but it's different because it's more action-based. Like, because you follow the cameras on the SWAT team. In the second one.
Yeah.
And oddly, these bunch of random kids who show up into the whole thing afterwards, which is really stupid. But you follow the SWAT team around, so it almost feels like a first-person shooter for most of the movie, so that's cool.
Yeah, that sounds cool. I don't think I ever really wanted to watch any remakes or sequels, because the first time I watched this film, it was me and a few uni friends. It was like lunchtime, we had some cheap Frosty Jack cider, and we were like 5 grown-up dudes watching this film. We had no idea what it was about, and I didn't know it was about zombies until like a little bit into it, and it just like imagine just 5 grown-up dudes screaming in the middle of the day. Yeah,
absolutely nothing to do with the film.
Oh yeah, the film was on the other side of the room. We weren't watching it, but there's something like, I don't know. There's something about just not knowing anything about it and then just watching it and just sort of, I felt it very much part of the sort of the character's experience of it. And I found it terrifying. So I never felt like I needed to watch any more films or remakes or anything.
Yeah, it's if they never made any more sequels, this movie was perfectly like capsuled, isn't it? Like it ends actually in a really cool way as well. But everything is sort of weirdly wrapped up, even though it was a bittersweet thing. So you didn't have to have any more movies afterwards. They just decided to make more movies afterwards. And it's not a real explanation why, but they just decided to do it anyway. I think it's because
you got to pay the bills, man. You got to hit. You got to keep them. You got to keep them coming.
It's like it's more like the Paranormal Activity movies and stuff like that, isn't it? The first one did really well. It was probably made on the cheap, and they said, you know what, we can make like a bajillion of these, and they actually did. So
the Paranormal
for some
Activity
horrible reason, they did.
Yeah. Bajillion and One's coming out next year. I can't wait for that.
I'm waiting for Bajillion one. I mean, it looks terrifying. Have you seen it? There's a ghost in it or something.
No, it's a ghost. It's a ghost
paranormal
being haunted
stuff.
by another ghost. That's what that is.
Oh, Jesus, ghostception.
Yeah. So when was the first time you watched this one, Ben? Do you remember?
I think I saw this fairly close to when it came out. I don't know if I saw it at the cinema. I think it was a DVD purchase of mine. Probably so around about 2008. Probably. Yeah, and I've always loved it. I've always thought it's great. If we've talked already about the royalty of found footage films such as like Blair Witch Project and stuff like that, this is probably like a close second for me in terms of those films. Because although it does sort of go through some very obvious tropes, and it is a found footage film, a fair few years after found footage became popular. It's like it's amazing. There's so many genuine scares in it, and it's genuinely creepy. The vibe is perfect. Some of the supporting characters are a little bit mind-numbing, but I think the journey of the central character is good enough for everything to be genuinely terrifying.
Yeah.
I think it's unique it's incredibly unique, and when you look at it from outside and you explain the film to somebody, it doesn't sound unique at all. When you experience it, it's unique.
Found footage zombie. Like none of those things scream unique. And also, the same year I think I read that Diary of the Dead came out, and and
that was a flop.
Yeah. So it wasn't like unique at all, but it was just done so well, so nicely.
Yeah.
What about you, Jan? What was the first time you saw it? Do you remember?
I saw it in the cinema like maybe the first few weeks when it was out in the cinema.
I bet it was terrifying in the cinema.
It was really, 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 really scary. And the thing is, I got into it because what's interesting is I got by the trailer. Now the trailer was different because the trailer had barely any had no clips from the movie. It was like its own separate scene that they filmed about these two firefighters breaking into the building after what seems to be the zombie apocalypse happening in the building to find the little girl, now a zombie, attacking one of the firemen.
Yeah.
And that's all you saw. And so like, ooh, this is good. And you didn't get to see any of the characters. You had no idea whether it was found footage or not. You had no idea. So that tickled me a bit. And then by the time I went to see it in the movie, I only went to see it with my friend and two other friends of mine, myself and like two girls. And what was really funny was I was literally like this, like especially the last 20 minutes. I'm like holding, like I wish it was a blanket. I'm like, Jesus, and I was shaking afterwards once the movie was finished. I was actually physically shaking, and it's funny because the two girls that saw it with me had no reaction to it. They thought it was a bit bleh. So here I am actually. The thing is, here's me legitimately having like a panic attack, going and these two girls go, what's wrong with you?
I hate that when you watch a film and it creates such a big emotional response from you, whether it's like you're terrified or you're upset by it or you're really sort of like emotionally invested, and you go, oh my god, that was heartbreaking, and people go, don't know, that was crap, rubbish, mate.
It's like when like a dog or something dies in a film, I'm like crying, and Kat looks over like, what are you crying at? It's like, so sad.
Grow up, mate.
Come on, no one cries at a dead dog, they have no soul.
Yeah. Okay, so let's.
It's true. I have no stuff.
Yeah.
Let's crack on with the story a bit. So the key players in the film, there's a lot. Let me try some of these names out. Manuela Velasco as Angela Vidal. And Pablo, she's like the main character through which we see most of the film. She's like a TV reporter. Pablo Rosso as Pablo, who's the guy holding the camera, and then there's like there's a load of Spanish people playing firemen and tenants and stuff. It's a really long list. I don't really want to go into it.
No. But look, by this point, actually, because some of them you don't even remember the names of them. You can, but in the way that the characters are in the apartment building, they're done so well that technically you can name them by stereotype and you know exactly what we're talking about. So we can just call them by stereotype from this point on.
That's pretty much it, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
a rational parent lady.
Slightly camp uncle because he looks like it.
Yeah.
Slightly camp and racist uncle.
There's
that. He's like blaming everything on the Chinese neighbors.
You got the Chinese You got the Chinese. You then have the doctor as well.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if there's anyone else that actually shows up because everyone else is like everyone else is either dead or.
Well, there's the hunky fireman who there's a little bit of flirtation with. There's the dead fireman who we'll get into what happens to him later. And then
there's hard as nails fireman.
Yeah. That's the one.
Snapping necks and stuff.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
And there's a cop as well who plays he's a stick in the mud sort of guy.
But
no one's allowed to do anything. You've all got to stay down here.
Oh, and then eventually you do get the guy from what seems to be like the Institute, the one in like the full suit coming in and
the Umbrella Corporation man.
Pretty much. Yeah. So the film starts with basically there's like a TV show. It's like a nightly show. I don't think many people watch it. The reporter Angela Vidal and a cameraman are going to do it. The TV show's called While You're Sleeping, and they're going to be covering a night shift for Barcelona's local fire stations. They're going to capture all of the magic, all of the action as it happens, but then not really that much happens. There's a bit where Angela says it sounds kind of terrible, but I really want something terrible to happen. Whether or not she means a zombie infestation, I just don't know at this point. Probably. I mean, looking back, I'm thinking she knew. She wanted it.
I like this is good. I think this whole intricate intro part where they're sort of like milling about the fire station, getting introduced to everybody and getting the detail in the most monotonous detail of what everybody in the fire station does. I think it's good. Yeah. Because it grounds the film. It makes everything feel. The pacing feels nice. You kind of feel like you get a feel for everybody, to know Angela pretty well in this particular moment, and Pablo, even though you don't see him at this point. I think it's nice. So when the things eventually go, when the shit eventually hits the proverbial fan, it.
I like to say when
it feels that much more intense.
I like to say when instead of shit hits the fan, it's when the fireman's face hits the floor. That's like the truest.
That's literally the half. And if you look at the time, it's actually the halfway point of the movie. So by that point, around there, it's like literally at the halfway point, everything goes to shit. Yeah. And what's good, and I love the beginning part as well. It's mostly because you are kind of bored as well, and it's done on purpose. Like everything is boring. Everything is dull. Oh, they're just eating. Oh, everyone's actually asleep. We don't have good TV. If everyone's just fudging asleep. So the moment they start, like the moment an alarm comes in and they saw that and whatever it is, it's like, oh my god, action! And they don't care what it is by this point. It could be a cat stuck in a tree. They find something, you know. In fact, they even joke, like, say, how often do people go out and say, do you guys go and save cats in trees? They even mention that and stuff. Until they go into the apartment building, and it seems like an odd call, but you know, it seems like bog standard until it goes tits up.
Yeah. So they get the call, and they sort of jump in with the so there's Manu, who's the hunky fireman guy, and there's another guy, Alex, I think it says here. So they go with those guys. They go to this apartment building. There's two police officers waiting inside. It's all very panicky. Lots of tenants sort of arguing, and it's a really nice European building. It's like I did see, like, did you see the size of those rooms? Stunning architecture. You know, forget about it. It's a really nice building. I really want to live there at some point.
That's like a typical, like, proper Spanish home, really. Actually, which is quite surprising. So I know some friends who've lived over in Spain, and they have apartments which are surprisingly big. You're thinking like, fudge's living room's big, you know, and this is really nice, randomly placed there. And there's tiles from like that seem to go back from the 1920s, and just like an accessory. And it's really looking as well, good and well built. And I think it adds more to the creepiness of the movie afterwards when things start going a bit tits up. If it was done like in a modern shiny building, which was kind of what the remake did, it kind of loses it a bit again, doesn't it? So
is a new one? Is Quarantine set in a sort of a modern build then?
Well, it's kind of like in a still traditionally older building, but it still looks too slick. That one looks like it's been fixed and lived in for like a couple of, like, you know, forever. Yeah. So
this one feels like there's stuff in the walls. Do you know what I mean? Like there's like secrets hidden in like the architecture of it and in the attic, which doesn't actually happen.
It feels like. With the low lighting, it feels like a haunted house, which I think is the kind of thing they're going for. How many people there were a few sort of families down in the stairwell when they were all being kept there during the disturbance. But really, I'm not sure how many sort of flats there were, but there didn't seem to be too many people in that building at all.
I think they say there's like floor 1 left, floor 1 right. So I think there's only 2 apartments per floor.
Okay, I see.
Yeah,
there's probably like 6 or 8.
Yeah, and the thing is, there's like a lot of stairs, which adds to the whole, like, you know, as people are running up and down the stairs, it adds more to the tension because you realize this building's surprisingly tall. But there's only like 2 apartments per floor or something, or like 2 or 3. So there's not a lot living in each floor.
Yeah. So anyway, Angela, they go up with a camera and they go to some neighbour, some old woman who's just screaming. Apparently she's a little bit strange. They go in there and they have a look at her, and she, within a few seconds, leaps onto one of the police officers' neck.
The police sergeant. The sergeant, actually,
Sergeant. She rips a chunk out of his throat.
That looked awesome.
It did, yeah. So this is our first look at one of the monsters. I still think, you look at that, you're not even completely sure if it is a zombie at this point. It's fairly certain, but to me, it kind of looked a bit more. I don't know, a bit more.
I think she doesn't. Yeah. She seems like she seems a little bit like she's a bit self-aware. She doesn't seem like a complete bloodthirsty monster. Because some seems a bit like she's not whether to attack. So she's kind of like hanging back a little bit. And then when she does sort of pick her moment to attack, it's almost like she's been backed into a corner, so she feels like she needs to. So it's rather than that bloodthirsty rage of a zombie where they're just coming at people willy-nilly and just ripping people apart. It's not as much like that. It's almost like they're very particular about who they're attacking and why, I guess.
It also feels a little bit as well like when you first see her, she's actually like, she's pretty much just in her underwear by the point, isn't she? She's in her underwear in the corner of the room, hyperventilating. Like you're hearing this sort of like, that kind of thing. And that really, but you're not sure whether she's having like some kind of panic attack. You're not sure if she's like having some kind of mental episode. You're not really sure until she literally lunges and takes a huge gory chunk out of the sergeant's neck. So then by that point you're thinking, okay, crazy old lady, crazy old lady, do something with a crazy old lady. And you're still not thinking zombie at the moment. You're thinking she's nuts. It's only until later on, obviously, when it turns out the entire building is infested.
Yeah. Well, they carry the police sergeant downstairs, and then now we see that all the tenants are in this lobby area, and all the doors have been sealed off by cellophane, so you can't get through that cellophane.
Not the cellophane. No! I can't get through it.
Yeah.
Let me out the cellophane.
But
it's too thick. Industrial thickness cellophane.
No one's got a sharp knife. No one's got a sharp knife. Anyway.
So they're all like quarantined in there. People are freaking out. And then is it around here the face hits the floor?
Well, no. Around here, by that point, you have the cop. It's not really a cop, isn't he? I'm not sure if he's come from outside or whether he's like the security guard of the place. I think he's the security guard of the building, or something like that. And he's going saying, "No, everyone remain calm." And he's using his walkie-talkie, acting all cool when really he has absolutely no idea what's going on just as well. It's like everyone needs to stay calm, don't panic. And then you hear people from outside talking. You hear the whole people saying like, "Everyone remain calm. We have heard there is some kind of infestation. Do not worry. Do not panic. Have a nice day," kind of thing. Which is kind of funny. Because at the end of it, he actually says like, "Stay calm. There might be something happening, but we'll sort it out soon. Have a nice day."
And if anyone ever locks you in a room and says "stay calm," you might be very sick. I would not stay calm. Like
I know. They don't do.
They could just say, "Stay calm. There's stuff happening outside here. We don't need to step in it. Someone's made a mess. Yeah. Someone piddled. And just stay there. We're going to clean this up."
Well, the way they describe it as well, they don't even say that they're sick. It's like saying, "We're closing you off because something happened. Something is happening, but don't worry, remain calm." Yeah. And I think it's the lack of information that obviously everyone in the building, rightfully so, says, "Can someone tell us what's happening? This is really stupid and weird." And then as they're all shouting, a man who's downstairs going, "Everyone!" It's like, "Remain calm." Suddenly that's when the Alex drops.
The Alex drops, yeah. And that scene was one of the most memorable shots, moments, I think, in any horror movie. I don't know why. I think it's just because it's had this general lull sort of tone all the way through, and it's like starting to build, and it just ramps up. It's such a surprising escalation. I just found it really shocking. I really liked it.
It comes out of nowhere as well because you don't expect that at all. Because Alex is up there, sort of cleaning up after the old lady gets shot, kind of thing. So it's like, oh, it's fine, we'll calm it down, kind of thing. And suddenly, boom! And it's shot. And it's structured well because you have, I think, the nagging mother and the daughter who's having like saying she has tonsillitis. She needs her medicine, and she's moaning and this kind of thing. And then suddenly, boom!
It's a very wet. It's a very wet slap on the ground of this Alex landing.
Yeah, as well. Because it's not even like the person gets thrown over, even though you hear a scream. It seems like it almost looks like the old lady kind of tried to nom at his head a bit, and then throw him over.
I think she chokeslammed him off the top turnbuckle, straight down from the top of Hell in the Cell. He did it mankind onto the.
My God, man, she's dead. He's dead.
That's gotta be Kane. Right, it wasn't. It was there.
I was
an old lady.
She followed behind with a frog splash, just like 10 seconds later, and then pinned him. He's completely dead. Like his face is bleeding out, but she pins him anyway.
Uno, dos, tres, bienvenido. Oh, good time.
Yeah. So now like everyone's like the shit has hit the fan. So everyone's sort of panicking, like going crazy, and then they go. I think the fireman and the policeman, not the injured one, go back upstairs, and then Angela sort of follows along. Like she said, we need to get this on film. That's pretty much her whole motivation throughout this entire thing. We need to get this on film. It reminds me of the girl from Blair Witch. She had that same sort of mentality.
She's very much like a journalist who wants that one big story, and she's probably not satisfied working on this TV show, so she wants something to sort of elevate her to the next level, and this disaster is probably going to look like it's going to do that.
Yeah, as well as like if you compare it to like all the other sort of shaky cam horror movies of the time, right? The thing I've always hated in most of them is that half the time the people have no excuse to be filming, right? Blair Witch Project had an excuse because they're doing a documentary and they want to capture as much as possible. This is technically journalism, and so yes, they have a right to film what's happening. Look at something like Cloverfield, for example, which is some guy called, I don't know, Barry. I'm going to call him Barry because I don't like him. It's legitimately like no reason he'd be filming like an intimate moment between a couple on the other end. Or, for example, when he's being chased by the big giant monster, you don't turn around while running on the bridge to get a better angle of said monster destroying said bridge. It's...
Nowadays, though, everyone's got the phone out recording everything. Like you could construct a home found footage movie just from everyone's sort of cameras, just from the different various.
I do know what you mean, though, Johan. I think it's like it's always sort of forced in, isn't it? The reason the person's filming. It's always like this person was filming this minor occurrence, and then suddenly something bad happens, and they film the whole thing. And it does feel like every time somebody says stop filming, I get more and more annoyed because I'm like, you're just reminding me that this guy is filming and he should be, and he wouldn't be in real life. Whereas this feels more real, doesn't it? I think that's the thing. When it's grounded in reality like this, and you feel like there's a reason for that person filming, not to just do it for a laugh or whatever. Why are you filming this? What are you filming this for? Oh, it's just crazy. Oh, bloody hell, this is me.
I like
video
camera.
And the worst bit as well is like, you say something like the iPhone, that's easier to like carry around and film. But when you're holding like a camcorder or something, that's a bigger piece of equipment. That takes effort. And the only purpose of that said piece is to record and film something. It's not like you're going to use your camcorder and suddenly call your mum on it. It's not that. It doesn't do multiple things. So hi. Hey, I'm just filming my own death.
I'm just taking a selfie with this like $2,000 camera. Yeah.
I'm thinking next time around. I am thinking there should be a horror movie done entirely through selfies. Yeah. That should be the future.
It's not bad. So they go up to basically. So the policeman and Manu, they go upstairs to check on the woman. They're like, right, we need to sort her out now. She's chucking people off the top.
Oh yeah. She hadn't been shot at this point, had she? I think she's just been subdued.
Yeah, I got that mixed up. But she was like taken down, and they all tried to drag him out, drag the sergeant out. That was the first thing they tried to do, right?
Yeah. And they didn't realise that she had super strength, so she kind of overpowered the other fireman. But anyway, they go upstairs, and she's already killed another girl. I don't know who this girl is, or she's bit this other girl.
She's on it, isn't she? She's racking up that kill count.
Yeah,
like, she's just like, hey, you, come here. I'm gonna have a bit of you as well.
I think they said that she was sort of like this quiet, sort of Chilean girl or something who lives in an apartment, but you never get a proper introduction.
Yeah.
I think what happened was when she was sort of hiding in a room or something. I had no idea because she wasn't down there with the rest of them.
Yeah.
And you don't get to see it, but I assume she heard the fall, the smack, finally got out, found the open door, saying, "Hey, how's everything?" Bleh.
Yeah. So then they shoot her this time in the head. Who shoots her? Is it Manu or is it the policeman?
It's the policeman, isn't it? It's the policeman slash security guard guy. He pops 3 caps in her ass.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, it's like, yeah.
And then this is one of my favorite shots of the film. So the old woman, she slumps against the back wall, and then it looks like she's going to stand up again or she's going to move. And the camera, I think one reason this film's so scary is the camera just keeps obscuring your view. So you keep like trying to keep your eyes on her just to make sure she doesn't move, but you can never quite get a good angle on her. So it's always like she's going to get up, she's going to move. She doesn't do yet, but it was good. I think that's one of the most effective bits of this film is the way the sort of found footage camera is done. It's always sort of obscuring stuff just as you want to see it.
And the camera does get put down a couple of times, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So,
I love that.
Yeah, that's good. Which kind of does make sense because like that isn't the be all and end all. The be all and end all is survival in this particular scenario. The be all and end all isn't we're gonna film whatever happens. Occasionally I've got to put this camera down because I've got to make sure I live and everyone else lives.
There were a couple of bits as well, which was actually quite funny. For example, he's having his downtime, so you can literally just see his feet. There's another bit where the girl actually crawls towards the camera and starts poking it and puts it on accidentally and smudges the lens.
Yeah.
And there's one bit as well, which I think is definitely unique in terms of found horror movie kind of cameras. At one point, he does use the camera as a weapon and like rams one of the zombies in the face with it. So so it adds that sort of it's because it's not like he's using the camera all the time as in to film something. There's moments where it's like, okay, we'll now film it now. Because there's moments of black. It's not continuous flow. It's like moments of black and then records again as if he's picked up the camera again and time has passed. Yeah.
So then I kind of thought this next bit got a little bit boring. Is when it's just it all calms down again and they start interviewing all of the tenants. I think to give a bit more character information and background and stuff. But who did the interview? So there's the guy with the stylish hair, I think. Yeah,
the slightly. Are we talking about the slightly camp uncle?
Yeah. And then they interview the girl, the little girl who's sick, who's got tonsillitis, and her mum.
Just because basically just like answers for her half the time, doesn't she? It's like if she it's like, let her talk. I'm talking to her.
Obviously, there's a key plot point here where she discusses her dog. The little girl discusses the dog Max, who's been taken to the vets recently and is obviously outside of the building. And obviously, they find out that the father of her as well is also went out to get her some medicine and wasn't allowed back into the building. Yeah. So he's out there, obviously.
How many of you were thinking, like, with the girl, they said that she's got tonsillitis, she looks very ill. How many of you were assuming the worst at that point about the girl? Because, I mean, tonsillitis is fucking killer. It's not nice.
Tonsillitis or this zombie disease? I mean, I know which one I'd rather have, mate. Be honest.
Zombie.
Totally. But at that point, I think the mother was really hammering it home. She has tonsillitis. She needs her medicine. So it kind of gave away that something's up with her. But we're still not at this point. We're still not entirely sure purely zombie yet. I know it's weird, but they don't really say the word zombie yet at all in this, don't they? They don't say zombie.
Yeah. It's strange though, because in most zombie films, this is something that is slightly strange, I find. But obviously, it needs to exist in this world. Most zombie films, people don't know what a zombie is. So there's always a moment when people, instead of people going, holy fuck, they're a zombie, or holy fuck, they look like a zombie, there's always a moment where people need to kind of get their head around what is potentially happening. Like when a body is coming back to life or someone's infected with something. No one seems to ever really say zombie. I mean, I know in the Walking Dead series, each sort of group of people have their own word for the walkers, the undead or whatever. No one ever calls them zombies.
Yeah.
is almost like in every single zombie film or every single zombie piece of literature, everything.
Yeah.
It's very rare that you find something where zombies exist in the world before, as a fictional thing.
I think of
and
Shaun
then
of the
they come
Dead.
into.
I always think of Shaun of the Dead when you go, don't
Yeah.
say the Z word. What?
Yeah.
It's
That's
almost
what-
like it's
that's-
racist.
Yeah.
Don't call them the Z. Hurt their feelings.
Only they can say that to each other.
Zombie.
Yeah. So what happens now? So
Zombie.
they put the bodies. There's like the injured people. They
Put them in the other room,
Yeah.
and they've interviewed everyone else. So they put everyone in the room, and they're just trying to. At this time as well, they're also trying to find other ways to escape, but they can't. And then at some point, this is where they start thinking, we're bringing in an expert in. And
Yeah.
I think it's around that point.
That's what
to
me and Ben
investigate-
said when we got you on. We're bringing in an expert. And,
Right, we're out of our depth here. We need to bring in an expert.
We're bringing it in.
Yeah, and
Get him in.
So what happens now? So the hazmat suit guy from the umbrella school, whatever. I don't know.
Umbrella school.
When does the shit start happening again? I can't remember.
Well, they go in handcuffs to the guys who have been injured, the guys who've been bitten. They handcuff them to like a gurney, and the sort of health inspector guy's kind of like having a look at them. And he's getting some of the residents to help him out as well. And at this point, it's obvious what's going to happen. So one of the guys sort of comes back to life. One of the guys who was kind of the cop, I think, the one who was bitten first. He sort of like comes to life.
Yeah.
Starts attacking some guys, and everyone sort of panics, and eventually they leave the room where they sort of were trying to treat them, and they run out. I think it's like some old abandoned like textile warehouse or something, isn't it?
Yeah.
And they sort of escape through there and manage to pull the shutter down as one of them sort of coming after them.
Yeah.
I think we lose a couple of guys at this point, don't we?
Yeah, we lose like 2 of them, I think. Which I'm not sure. I think the doctor dies at this point. But the doctor was saying like, oh, we can use the textile room to escape, and there's extra keys. But I think the doctor dies here because he was helping out the health inspector.
The doctor, I don't understand. So the doctor, he was like, I'm an intern as a doctor. I've never heard of that before. And he's also the landlord or something. Like he's got all the keys to. So what job do you do?
They didn't have enough money to cast 2 people at this, so it was like, right, we need a landlord and we need a doctor. Just put them together. He'll just be both.
Yeah.
He could be someone else as well.
Yeah, exactly. To the point I don't. Yeah, just like we can't have more than these amount of people dying. We can just cram some into one.
Yeah.
What I liked about this bit beforehand as well is how it was shot, because when at this time that room was closed off, right? And I loved how basically Pablo and basically everyone else was sort of like, okay, let's go and try and get a sneaky look. So they try and climb up these desks and look through the peeking of the window, this thing, and this thing is all happening, and she's like, "What's happening over there?" And you see the what's happening? Just literally trying to shout, "Shush, shush, shush, something's happening!" And then suddenly the zombies come out, and she's panicking. She has no idea what's going on, and Pablo's like holding the camera above his head, trying to figure out what's going on, and then the whole chasing through the textile room and everything else, and that leads to the explanation as to why all this was happening in the first place.
Yeah.
We get a classic "just tell us what's happening" thing.
Yeah,
you know more than us.
I
So
think
we've got
Manu
a standard
basically
zombie
saying that,
situation here, guys. There's a load of zombies. Don't get bit. That's all you need to know.
But Manu was sort of shaking. I think Manu was going like, "Tell me, goddammit, before I chuck you back to that thing." And then he explained, and this is actually I kind of like how this is done as well, because it's paced really well. And this is kind of the point where, yes, it slows down a bit, but from this point onwards where it gets really quick. He explains like, right, what happened is that we found a very rare virus or some kind of rare virus or something that's come from this dog. This dog got rabies, bit every dog, and all the animals now have rabies, and we tracked it down to this apartment building. And so that means this leads to the whole conversation before with saying, "Oh, my dog Max is not here."
Yeah. Coincidence?
Yeah, and immediately Angela dobs her in, doesn't he? She goes, doesn't she? She goes, "Was that dog named Max by any point?" It's empty. It's empty over there.
and you know what's funny about this point? Like the mother's going like, and everyone's turning around looking at the girl, thinking, "Fuck, if she's sick, she's the reason why everyone else is sick." And that's sort of the thing that she's saying, and
she still holds on to her tonsillitis story at this point.
She just has tonsillitis. She just has tonsillitis.
Even after the daughter bites her, she's like, bloody horrible tonsillitis. She's in so much pain. She's biting her own mum.
Oh, kids! You know how they're like when they're sick. They're just drama.
Get me some penicillin. Jesus.
So this is the point when the girl goes a bit. She was chilled out before, the girl, and then she went a bit zombified. Again,
turned into
this
like
is
a
where we
feral
see
cat. Like, did you notice that? It wasn't like a normal human noise. It was like the cat noises.
Yeah. So again, it looks like that they can control it and pick and choose when they want to go wild. It seems because she was quite calm before, and clearly she was infected. And then she sort of like bites her mum and then goes a little bit wild, has a little scream at everybody, and runs up the stairs.
Yeah.
Teenagers. Go up to your room now. Yeah. Go on.
Heard her stomping away in the door slams.
That's what we actually hear. You just go, ah! It's like, wow, okay.
Yeah. Oh, she bit her mum's face again, didn't she? Jesus, she needs to learn some respect.
God. So by that point, that's when everyone starts panicking. And was it it's not the copper, because the copper, I'm not sure if the copper was done by this point, but do they like handcuff the mother?
It is like the security guard copper guy handcuffs the mum to the stairwell, to the wrought iron thingamajobs. And then they go back upstairs or something. I think to get the girl.
I think it's not just to get the girl, but I think it's also they're trying to find another means of escape, because they try to go like, you can go through one of these apartments. You can jump through the apartment and go through like the roof or something.
Right.
I think that's what they're trying to do, but I think people were Umbrella Corporation are one step ahead of them, and they said, you can't even get through that either. Yeah. And they said, like, we've got people bitten. It's all chaos in here.
Yeah.
I love it.
Everyone's got tonsillitis.
Oh no, it's the worst case. Yeah. I think there's a bit when they finally look at the window's open, and suddenly, cellophane drops.
Yeah.
God damn it, this thing. So
you've been cellophaned. Yeah.
Yeah.
You've been cellophaned again.
Oh God. So yeah, and that's by that point I think they're all just starting to panic because they're just saying we need to escape or something by this point. So
yeah. So this is where the film kind of does get a bit mental, like in a good way. Like the camera gets more shaky. There's more screaming. So when there's someone gets killed around here, right? So which one's Sergio? I've got written here. Jennifer bites Sergio. What's going on here?
I'm trying to remember which one's Sergio. I can't remember actually. I can't remember.
I'm not 100% sure.
That's annoying. I'm not sure if Sergio is no, that's not it. I'm not sure. But I do.
I know they have to go back downstairs, right? So I think they decide they need to go to Gwilym's apartment, who's like the intern / landlord.
Intern landlord.
And then they're gonna go into some underground door out somewhere. I'm not too sure really. But that's what a bit of a MacGuffin anyway, because that's not really what they end up doing. So they go downstairs. The shutters are open. The zombies are all running out. The woman handcuffed to the stairwell. They just have to leave her because there really is nothing she can do about her. Pretty cruel. And then they sort of leave her there to get eaten, I guess. Did they eat people in this, or they just sort of maul them a bit and then
they sort of do like take chunks out of them, but they don't eat them. I think they're just
they kind of take chunks, infect them, and then they kind of just leave them to it. And then one of us on that.
So then they start running up the stairs. At what point do we lose Manu? He's around here, right? Because I think we've only got like 3 people left.
I can't remember whether it's Manu here. Manu was a little bit later on, I think, because there's a bit where they end up running into Camp Uncle's apartment. And they go in and they're trying to explain like the whole idea, like, look, we can go through this other thing and whatever it is and so on. We have to go for this thing. And then suddenly the Camp Uncle, while he's explaining it, I remember this bit, it's really cool. While he's explaining it, one zombie sort of like in like this weird sort of corridor room thing. Yeah. And Camp Uncle's literally still standing there and saying like, you have to go and get the keys. So what? It's downstairs, you idiots! And the moment he says that, zombie, I'm not sure if it's Manu or something. I'm not sure it's Manu, but something like that. Grabs him and literally just goes, and starts eating on him.
I think it's the umbrella guy, right? It's the
The
Yeah,
umbrella
it's
guy
the
saying like,
inspector
"Leave
guy,
me."
isn't it?
Yeah, health inspector goes like, "Leave me here." Look, and he actually closed the door. It's like, "Don't even come in the door. Ignore me.
Yeah.
Sort it out." So you have Manu, Pablo, Angela, and then Camp Uncle, and those are the only four left, basically. And so by that point, it's like, okay, there's a way to get out. We can try this, because whatever it is, and that's when Camp Uncle gets killed, and then you're left with
the guy, the hazmat guy, pushes his hand through the thing. I think he takes a bite out of his head, like
right from the skull, like
like he's eating from an apple or something, like a. That must be. Can you do that? Can you bite into a skull? I guess maybe if you're like rabid. I kind of figured the teeth would break. I don't know.
Maybe he's got a meaty skull.
Maybe, yeah.
Or maybe it needs a bit of cracking, like an egg. I think. You got to pound it a bit, and then just gets like I need to get to his juicy center.
Yeah. Tap it with a spoon for a bit. Yeah.
Sounds delicious.
Tap it with a spoon. Just seeing zombie going. It's not properly done yet.
Yeah.
He's not done yet.
Needs 30 more seconds.
Proper boiling. But anyway, okay. So by that point, that's when they start going down. And you need to find the extra thing to go to the underground, whatever this is. And I think this is where it kind of fails, basically, doesn't it?
So so around here, at some point, Manu turns, and he's like the last manly man who's going to sort of be the savior, I guess. But he turns anyway. So they chase upstairs instead, and they end up in this penthouse room or something. It's all crazy. There's full of photographs everywhere of his.
There's a great shot prior to this, isn't there? Where as they're trying to find the keys, they look down from the very top, all the way down the stairwell. You see sort of like 5 or 6 infected, all sort of like looking up.
All the tenants, it's great.
And you see at this point, I remember this now, that Manu. There's one point where Manu actually, at one point before he turns, he actually kills a zombie by cracking his neck open or something, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And at one point, the 3 of them go after him, and with an axe, he's going, "I need to take him down!" Boom! God, he's so manly. And then
manly.
he's such a man. And then right at the very top of the stairwell, as you see, the thing you see that crushes you, you see zombie Manu. I'm not sure if that was the same for you. But you're like, oh no, not you! You did so well!
You were so manly.
Why?
Because if he's coming after you as well, you're finished.
You're done.
Yeah. He's got tonsillitis and he ain't happy about it.
I've got bloody tonsillitis, I'm fuming!
First, it's not regular tonsillitis, it's manly tonsillitis. So it's extra level of testosterone with your tonsillitis.
It's the worst.
Oh, shit!
Yeah, zombie flu for men is much worse than zombie flu for women, I'm sure.
Zombie flu.
Okay, so they end up in the penthouse. So there's like a tape that's playing or something, or some notes, I can't remember. But we're trying to find out a bit of info about where this all came from, right? Yeah,
because they, I think it was one of the tenants before saying like barely someone lives at the top floor, but no one ever really lives there. And it turns out all we know there's a priest who probably did some stuff there, but we never really saw them at all, that kind of thing. So that teases it. And then when the tape is playing, it's kind of weird because obviously it's only seeing the light from the
camera,
because they can't seem to find the light switch for some reason. And they go into the. It's like, imagine all this could be solved. You just turn left and it's there.
Just a little clicky.
Hey!
They didn't even try the clapping.
They didn't even try.
That's the first thing you try.
It's like, no lights, huh?
Yeah.
And as they're going through, that's when they find the tape. And the thing is, it sounds like religious mumbo jumbo. Doesn't really sound scientific. So Angela's sort of like saying like, what the hell is this? What the hell is he talking about? It's like she's interested, but it's literally confusing her because this doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
And it's only until they're scanning the room and see like things like exorcisms and weird sort of stuff like that, and how they're trying to chemically, genetically modify in a weird way exorcisms, which that's what I've got. It's like exorcism.
There's like a biological cause for demonic possession that there's a lot of articles about, and obviously a lot of samples of different things, and so then it also it flips on its head immediately because you're like, well, I thought this was just like a standard zombie biowarfare chemical leak or something that's caused this thing, and it's not. It seems like it's something to do with demonic possession. And the guy who sort of left all this stuff was working for the Vatican as well. Is that right?
Yeah.
So he's been like hired by the Vatican to kind of like experiment on this on essentially patient zero.
How weird is that, basically? Which is like a Vatican having a scientist. That's what that is.
We want to employ you. We're the Vatican. We want to employ you, the scientist.
Yeah.
What?
But you have to do it for all these religious things as properly counteracting of anything scientific. So can you try and do something scientific using religion?
Prove all of these religious things with science. How much you paying me? Jesus.
Jesus.
Just paying you in one Jesus.
You're hired.
Paying you with
my
Jesus.
fine salary. Okay.
The bit at this point, which I really found creepy, is basically where they hear like a rustling from what seems to be like the attic room above them, and this scared the hell out of me. I'm not sure about you, but
well, this is
very cheap.
This is the most. So I would say this film has been good up to this point, and I feel like this last scene, are really what elevated it to the like maybe sort of culty sort of status it's got now. Yeah. The whole like the darkness and it's so terrifying.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's great. So what happens? So they've got the bulb on the camera, but it gets broken or something. It gets
broken by this. What looks like this? Where you think it's this. I think it's a girl or something weird. You see, at the beginning, you just hear a hand, a screech, and like a bit of a face, and it breaks the bulb. And all you hear them is panicking. It's like, I can't see a thing. Put night vision on. I'll put night vision on. And they're just just holding on to Pablo, going like don't let go of me. And then we find
very
something.
Very Silence of the Lambs this moment, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Night vision. She couldn't really see what was going on, and you could only see by looking through the camera. So that was creepy. So it's claustrophobic as it was already in this penthouse, but then by removing their sort of like their only sort of light source, it just made it even more claustrophobic.
Yeah.
Just imagine being in a completely pitch black apartment, knowing that there was possibly some sort of crazed, possessed creature somewhere, anywhere.
Yeah. And we get to see the
ready to reach out and touch you.
We get to see the crazed creature.
That's
this is patient zero, right? This is the girl that comes in, and she looks freaky as hell. Like her jaw is like all like swollen or something. She's got a hammer.
Swollen, it's swollen. It looks like her jaw's almost as if she could like dislocate it like a snake. Cause it goes down her hair or something.
Like a tropical frog. Yeah.
And I think the weirder thing is, like, I think they did get a stunt double who was already very skinny as it was, but this looked really flipping skinny and
really incredibly tall as well. And I think that sort of added to it, didn't it? She just looked like this big gangling man. Like
I thought it was CGI at first. I thought it was CGI at first. I was like,
no,
I don't know if it's just because it was night vision. There's something about it just didn't look quite real. Yeah. And then I've seen the actor like in the makeup afterwards, and it's obviously real. But
I think the first time you see it, you're not sure whether to believe it or not because it doesn't look human like at all. It almost looks alien. And then finally when they go like shh, 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 and I love because I'm just like holding a mouth and like fucking stay quiet, shush, and they try to sneak around. And I think Pablo out of all of them, Pablo like
where she had to sneeze and then he held her nose for her. Scooby-Doo scene. And then he went, I'm fine. Yeah. Classic.
I'm not sure who it was, whether it was Angela or Pablo, but I think at one point, Pablo's one going like, shh, stay quiet. I think Pablo was the one who probably hit something out of all the ones. He's the one who's saying he's quiet, and Pablo hit something, and literally, suddenly she sees it. The patient zero sees it. Like instant turn and just bolts towards them, and that is, and this is where it got really uncomfortable for me because it felt like the shaky cam, like you can see like every single hit of what will look like Pablo getting smashed in the head with like a wrench or a hammer or something.
Yeah,
Christ.
Yeah,
and you don't even see it, but you can definitely imagine it so well with that.
Yeah, you can imagine exactly what's happening in that sequence.
So in the description I read, it said that she eats Pablo, but I thought she was just smashed in with a hammer. I thought she was crazy.
That's what I thought as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it just goes boom, boom, boom. It just and then drags the corpse away. But you feel like it just keeps on smashing until his face is like a pulp. That's what I think it was.
And then we get like a shot that I'm pretty sure has been redone a few times. You know, the person, Angela, our main character, like it's in pitch black. She sort of crawls towards the night vision camera, and then she gets suddenly yanked away. I'm sure I've seen that as like done badly in quite a few things since this.
Yeah, we've probably seen that half a dozen times, I think, since then.
And you know what's interesting? And you know what's interesting as well is like in the remake of Quarantine, they use the ending in the trailer. So it kind of ruins. So in the trailer of Quarantine, you see the ending, which is her being dragged away, and you're like,
it's because it's the most iconic moment, and the remake is trying to just drain everything, every little last ounce of originality out of it. It's just like, what's the most iconic moment? This is I think it's the poster as well. The poster for Quarantine,
it's her being dragged.
It's her getting dragged away like that, and it's like, well, there's the ending there. There you go. Don't need to see it. Done.
Yeah,
ruined it. Yeah, it's and at the end of it, I remember the last line is the last. You actually hear the last line, what she says before, like it goes to black, and then it goes and say, "Whatever you do, keep recording." You know, whatever you do, keep recording, you son of a bitch. And then it cuts to the big wailing, and the credit happens. And and
so
that is
such a good ending. And so the film ended, roll credits, and then me and my 5 uni friends like looked at each other, somber and silent, like I'm going home now.
Bloody hell, we missed it. Missed the end.
Yeah.
Let's start it again. We got nowhere to be. Let's start it again.
Yeah.
I think it is the last 20 minutes, because I think the last 20 minutes, you mentioned at the very beginning, it feels like a haunted house, right? You know how I hate, the thing is, I actually hate haunted houses. And it's funny because I love horror movies, but I hate haunted houses. I hate horror games. I hate anything like that. So that last bit felt as if, like, if you were there in that environment, everything's claustrophobic. There's dozens of these things being chased after you at any minute. You don't know if they're going to pounce on you or anything. It's really makes you uncomfortable and really just edge your feet. And when you finally get into the penthouse, and then you're like, it's not over yet.
It's another level. Yeah, it gets to like boss stage.
It's not even that. It's a boss level, and not even that. Like, it gets weird by that point. You never expected the whole religion thing to suddenly come into it, and you're thrown this curveball, like in the last 5 minutes, and you have to try and absorb that, and you don't have the time. So you're still shaken by the last 15 minutes of being chased up a stairwell by zombie Manu. So you're just, I can't handle this.
Despite the reveal at the end, for me, it didn't seem to like affect the way I perceived the film. I still perceive the film as like a zombie found footage film. When I think of Wreck, I don't think demonic possession.
No.
It hasn't changed. It hasn't changed the way I perceive the film. So it's almost like a twist as such, but it hasn't altered the film completely. So when you look back at the film, you look at it in a completely different light. It's still that sort of classic zombie.
Yeah, it still falls under zombie. It's like, you know, when you think of 28 Days Later, and they're not technically zombies, but it still falls under the zombie genre. It's like the other sequels as well, like Wreck 2. That's when they start playing up more of the demonic possession stuff and the weird. So it's all about religion and ghosts and shit. And like, no, it was about weird, crazy zombies that later on revealed to be something to do with demonic possession.
Yeah.
So good ending then. Let's just really talk about like the score or the directing style in general. Like I said, I think some of the way the camera is really clever in this. And in terms of score, there wasn't any, but there was like an eerie. I listened back to it today just to have a quick. Because I couldn't remember any score at all, but I listened to it. But they have got like an ominous drone, really catchy stuff, just like throughout the entire film. Yeah, just that kind of thing. All the way through. But yeah, it's just, I thought it was a great film. I think the performances as well of all of the characters were quite natural. Like, I thought they all played the parts very, very well. None of it felt like stagey or theatery or anything like that.
It's interesting because as well, like me coming from like that kind of, well, Barcelona is like North Spain, but they got very big archetypes that are very Spanish. Now, I'm not saying in Gibraltar it's mostly a Mediterranean sort of thing, so that kind of archetypes we get in Gibraltar. So what's funny is I got the agony, sort of like the nagging mum. right?
Yeah.
That is my auntie, right? I can see that's exactly my auntie. You know, the some other characters, like that's exactly like a family member or a friend of mine. Because that's exact. So that it made it even slightly. Maybe I felt more scared or got connected with them more because I felt like I understood the archetypes more, and it felt natural because it didn't feel forced. It never felt like, oh, we're doing this as a stereotype, although slightly Camp Uncle feels a little bit hammy. But
yeah, a little bit.
But I think it was adding to it as well. They say like, oh, it's like, oh, I just keep an eye on my mum and all that, and even when she passed away, I still kind of, did all this and kept the house, and it's just, you have these archetypes, and but that's the thing, they're not they're archetypes. They don't really feel like stereotypes, but they, you kind of get enough of the character anyway that even if they were over the top or natural, that you can go along with it anyway. It doesn't feel like, hey, wait a minute. So
jump scares, shit your pants moments. Anyone got any?
Plenty really. There was obviously in the attic with the little boy when the little boy smashes the bulb. That was a jump scare. I think sort of like there are a few like zombie grabs and zombie reveals throughout that were quite jumpy. Didn't feel too cheap. You could kind of see them come in a mile off a little bit, I guess. But they were still pretty effective.
The first proper jump scare, which is Alex falling from the stairwell.
That shit me up really bad. Yeah.
It did because at the beginning there wasn't anything really scary up at that point. Yes, you had the woman eating the sergeant, but that wasn't scary. You just kind of went, oh, okay, we're getting into
standard. That you see it all the time. But a guy being chokeslammed off the top turnbuckle,
you don't. That's rare. No, even in wrestling terms, it's actually quite rare. So see that was the first one that really kind of shook me up a bit. The second one was actually having the little girl bite the mum. Even though we saw it coming, I just think it's more like when it finally happened, and then she goes rah and runs up. It just felt like that got me a bit nervous because now we've got this tiny little scary little zombie girl, which is probably the worst combination because horror movies, you've got zombies, they're scary. Children are fucking terrifying.
Okay, would you rather have, let me ask you a question. Would you rather have zombie Manu after you or zombie girl after you?
Okay, zombie girl because she's small enough, I could probably kick her.
You could probably kick her.
I could kick her like a football, but zombie Manu, no. That man is a brick wall.
Yeah. Zombie Manu, nobody's got any chance against zombie Manu. He's coming at you. He's steamrolling at you. You're dead.
Yeah. And he probably still has an axe because he's been carrying that axe everywhere. So zombie Manu with an axe is a no-go.
Terrifying. Yeah.
No, thank you.
So I've got some trivia.
Okay.
I guess we just do them and see you both get a chance to answer. See if you get it right. Number one, director Paco Plaza directed the first 3 films, and he also wrote Quarantine. True or false? So you wrote the American version of it.
I'm going to say yes. That's because I think the moment Rec came out, I did think I read an article saying that the guys who behind Rec were totally okay with it being remade for Americans. I think because I think
it sounds true.
So it's true.
Yeah.
You are both correct. Okay, number 2. Rec was... This is unusual for films. It was filmed chronologically. That never really happens in filmmaking. True or false?
True.
I'm going to say true.
Okay, they're both true. Yeah, you're both right. Okay, so number 3... Rec is short for rectangle on account of all the shape of the doors in the apartment building. True or false?
False. That's such an obvious false.
Okay. Wait a minute. Let's just think about this. Let's think about it for a second.
Is it a trick question?
Because it could be.
Is it a trick question?
Is it a trick question? Yes, it's false, Luke. Sorry.
Because what else could it be shot for?
I was going to say for a minute. You suddenly stumbled across some kind of weird conspiracy theory. It's like we didn't even think this.
You haven't thought it through. Yeah. That was false. Okay.
Thank God.
So the final shots were in complete pitch black. The actors actually literally could not see what was happening. True or false?
I'm going to say true.
True. Let's say true.
Yeah, both right. So the last one then. So this is the question. A big old computer game took Wreck as its main source of inspiration. Can you name the game? This is the name game.
Was it Resident Evil? Oh wait, it took its inspiration from it.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. Is it Outlast?
Ben,
Outlast?
You got an answer?
Oh yeah, Outlast. It's got to be Outlast. Same sort of color palette with all the greens and stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, it was Outlast. Yeah. Outlast and I think Amnesia I read somewhere as well. Which Amnesia, by the way, if you've ever played that, is the most terrifying game. I managed 10 minutes, I just couldn't do it.
Oh yeah, like the weird. Yeah, in Amnesia, I'm just realizing now the weird, tall, lanky people that look like the big head things, the ones that get chased around. Yeah, I can see that being a bit.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got to rate the film. You both did quite well in that trivia. I think you got them all right. Okay, so we've got to rate the film. Who wants to go first?
How do we rate this exactly?
Oh, right, yeah, so we should have told you. So between A and F, it's kind of like a personal thing. I mean,
yeah. You can throw in a plus or a minus as well if you're feeling fruity.
All right, fruity. Okay. All right. As a horror film in general, I'd give it a B.
Yeah.
If as a shaky cam movie, I'd give it a solid A, because it's the best one one of the best ones out of the lot. I still personally think it's the best one, but as a horror movie, it's kind of a B, because it's zombies, it's shaky cam. If you know some of the tropes, you're gonna get it, but you're gonna still have fun anyway. It's only like 75 minutes. It's short. Yeah. So you can, if you have like an hour and a half to burn, you can watch it and just enjoy yourself.
Yeah. What about you, Ben? What are you saying?
I was toying with an A. Yeah. But I think I might go for like a B plus. Are you still happy? Are you still happy for me to throw pluses and minuses in there, Luke?
I wouldn't change that now. Like we're like 20 episodes in. We're not doing that.
You got to mix these things up, mate. You got to mix these things up. You got to switch the goalposts now and again. Yeah. I think I'll go for a B plus.
Yeah. Are you going for B plus? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for a B as well. Like Johan said, like it's a solid, good horror film. Like one of the good ones. I wouldn't say it's like one of the best horror movies I've ever seen, but it is at least one of the most memorable ones I've seen. And in terms of found footage horror films, it's. I mean, this.
Yeah, it's made me want to go. It's made me go and want to watch the sequels as well, which is good.
Yeah. What about Quarantine?
Fuck Quarantine, man.
Fuck Quarantine.
No,
that's the quotation to take from this. Ben
man.
says fuck Quarantine.
Hashtag fuck Quarantine.
Yeah.
Hashtag fuck Quarantine 2017.
Yeah, okay. Cool.
That should be on a poster.
Yeah, thanks again for our special guest, Johan. Thank you so much for coming on, man. I hope you enjoyed it.
Johan.
Oh, it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah. So you were going to come on again at some point, I imagine?
Oh, yeah, totally. I would like to do another episode of this at some point. Just throw me somewhere where you think you need a third wheel.
Yeah.
And I'll jump in.
A pun that's suitable, because we had Rexpert for this one. I need to think of something else that's further down the line. I don't know yet. We'll see. We'll see if we match something up.
We'll only get you on for a new episode if there's a pun to go with it. Otherwise, we won't bother.
Okay, fine. I'll be hiding and waiting for the next pun.
Yeah. If you want to talk to Johan, you can talk to him on our Facebook group, the Horror Hangout Board of Advisors, where we like to chat about horror films and I don't know, really, we just basically get your opinions on the films, because there's a lot of these films I haven't even seen. So I'd like to, get a feel of the place before we go in. And that's where we do that. The next film on the list is a film I've not seen either. It's a Nicholas Roeg film, Don't Look Now. Have you seen it?
Oh yes, Don't Look Now. I have indeed. Once, a while ago. It'd be good to get a refresher.
Yeah. Did you like it?
I haven't.
Yeah, I like Don't Look Now. Definitely. Okay, cool. It's good. There's a big reveal.
Ooh.
I've ruined it.
now he's going to be watching it, waiting for the reveal. He's going, "Hey, something's going to happen now any minute."
Yeah.
Oh no!
It's a film. It's not a real thing that's happening. That's the reveal. I figured it out. Okay.
Reveal is something happening.
Yeah. So the show is brought to you by the Story Studio Hawk and Cleaver. Head over to hawkcleaver.com and grab a free book. Become a patron over at patreon.com/Hawk and Cleaver. Thanks to Kovac Cameron for our theme music. Thanks to Acast for hosting the show. Thanks to the listeners, and thanks to my co-host Ben. Thanks, Ben.
Thank you.
And thanks again to Johan. And Ben, did you watch any of Channel Zero at all?
I haven't got around to it yet, but it's on the list. I will, and we will discuss.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Say bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Woo.
And I